Yo, what's good, y'all? This video, in particular is a bit interesting because, I haven't really thought about movie tie-in games, until recently. And that's kind of weird for me because, I played so many of them as a kid. And the quality of these games fluctuates like crazy. Did you expect Ratatouille to be, a hidden gem? But what better way to start this off, right? Than to start it off with a Spider-Man game. Now, I'm not gonna do any of the Raimi games because one, I've already talked about those on the channel, and two, everybody already talks about those. So instead, we'll be talking about the Amazing Spider-Man titles instead. And to be specific, we're gonna be talking about the Amazing Spider-Man 1 for the 3DS. Yeah, you thought you knew where this was going, but you didn't. Now you're stuck here. But on a real note though, this game was actually very fun. I know a lot of the modern Spider-Man games get compared to Arkham a lot, but I think this game particularly plays the closest to Arkham in more than one ways as well. You can definitely see it in the story tone. But I'm not gonna lie, bro, I'm gonna be 100% honest with you, dog. This game used to terrify me as a kid. This might as well have been the first horror game that I've truly completed because those cross-species enemies and bosses, bro, no, just no. Because here's the thing about Marvel movie tie-in games, right? Since in the movies, they usually focus on 2 or 3 villains at a time at most. And with this specific game that the movie is based off of, the Amazing Spider-Man 1 only had one villain. It was just the Lizard. So they had to add more into the game to kind of, make it expansive, make it an actual game that you can put multiple hours into. If you're chasing Lizard for the entire game, that's gonna be pretty disappointing, right? So instead of going the Spider-Man 3 route and adding a bunch of stuff to do in the city, in this game, there's a bunch of stuff to do in the sewers. And since it's about cross-species, mutants just running rampant, breaking out of Oscorp, I'm not gonna lie, as a little kid, those things were pretty horrific, bro. Upscale the models, bro, add a few more appendages, I guess, and a few more holes to them. And they could pass for some Resident Evil mobs, I promise you. Bro, you're probably laughing at me, but those polygons used to horrify me as a kid. There was a specific mission. It was this boss called Natty, and it jumped out of that 240p septic tank water, and bro, I cut the game off. Now, later on, 2 days later, I beat the boss because I did 100, I wanted to 100% the game, but dog, those polygons, they were in my nightmares for those 2 days. Bro, they don't understand what we had to go through to get those vermin blood samples in that sewer, chasing after that boss. Dog, straight up Resident Evil Outlast 3. We're skipping 1 and 2, 3. And to briefly cover the Amazing Spider-Man 2's 3DS game, it was trash. I honestly don't even understand how the quality dipped so low. It's a 2D side scroller. I'm not gonna lie, I don't even care to harp on it. Just don't play that game, please. Now it's time to talk about our Lord and Savior, the absolute GOAT, Iron Man for the Wii. Bro, truly ahead of his time with breathtaking cutscenes such as...
With him.
I don't. I just feed him, clothe him, and bathe him.
Now that is the voice of reason.
Actually, sir, that would be me.
He's right. You don't want to argue with Jarvis.
And crazy, enhanced, traversal mechanics, right? Even better than Spider-Man 2, bro. This game was so bad, I asked my mom to configure parental control settings because I was so hyper-fixated on Iron Man that I couldn't peel myself off of this horrible game. This was developed using 3 toothpicks, a shoelace, and government mind control. Iron Man controls like he was in Five Nights at Freddy's sister location and he was freshly scooped. He plays like his frontal lobe is missing and Fredbear's is holding half of his genius intellect brain there, and the rest is just terrible motor functions and alcoholism. Every time he shoots a repulsor blast, it's the suit is heating up to molten temperatures and grinding against his skin, so he's constantly writhing in agony every time he's out of the recovery animation. I can't name you 3 plot points from this game that weren't already pre-established plot points from the movie. And anybody that can, they're not real human beings anymore. They're alternates from Mandela Catalog. They listen to French Montana. They're not real people. They don't exist. They're not real. Actually, bro, I'm a little curious. All right, let's look at the DS version of this game real quick. Let's see what what they have to offer. Yeah, we're gonna move on to the next game. I think we all need a good palate cleanse, so you know, what better way to do that than with X-Men Origins Wolverine, aka Wolverine Uncaged. Now bro, this game needs no introduction, but if you're slightly unfamiliar with the GOAT, this is essentially God of War, but Wolverine. And I recently replayed it, so it's fresh in my head. Even though the combat isn't as, you know, mechanically in-depth as something like God of War 3, it's still very serviceable to the brawler formula. And where it does fall short in this combo game, it makes up for it in the executions and the unique take on Wolverine's abilities. But you can probably assume how those play out. What I want to talk about is how good this level design is. When people talk about this game specifically, they usually talk about, you know, how better the story is in comparison to the actual movie, and how cool like the extra costumes are, maybe stuff about the, you know, actual mechanics of the game. But one of the slept on things is literally, this is a masterclass in how you sequence levels in brawler type games like this. There's a blend of puzzle segments, platforming segments, and those open arena brawler type like arcadey segments where they're coming in kind of like waves. The levels are like decently spread as well, to the point where like you know where you should be looking for collectibles, but it's not on the nose at all, right? Sometimes it teeters on the Metroidvania, I'm not even gonna lie. Because here's the thing with brawler type games, right? The formula is kind of an evolution of beat 'em up type of games, which is why you see the layout like be a lot more grounded compared to their peers. But the thing is, with God of War and games like X-Men Origins Wolverine, they add that extra layer of verticality on top of that to expand the level, which is why in turn you do see God of War 3 in those conversations with games like Bayonetta, Nier, and Devil May Cry, because it's more expansive than its peers and predecessors. And by proxy of that, you also see X-Men Origins Wolverine be a very, very peculiar case, because not only was it a superhero game in a sea of an oversaturated market of mediocre superhero games for the most part, but it was also a superhero movie tie-in game on top of that. And it was a beat 'em up brawler type of game on top of that. So to see it come out this well, how was that even possible? But scratch all of that, this game also jump scared me somehow. At the beginning of the game, well, near the beginning of the game, when you're at the Weapon X facility, on top of this, it's already eerie, because like it has that like haunted hospital, not necessarily haunted hospital, but like that corrupt hospital type of vibe. You're seeing like x-ray charts of like body horror everywhere, you're seeing blood everywhere, you're seeing hospital beds everywhere. Bro, there is this like gigantic like glass container, right? And it's holding in like this giant hulking mutant figure, right? One of the cool things about this, a key detail about this, is that it's a Wendigo. And if you know, read Wolverine or Hulk, you know what the Wendigo is. Well, one of these things busts out the container and it just instantly starts fighting you, bro. As a kid, I think I like blocked the trauma out of my brain, because on my recent replay, I remembered this exact sequence. Like it flashed before me like 2 seconds before it happened. And I'm not even gonna cap, bro. I jumped a little bit, bro. I ain't got no shame about it, but like, dog, what are we doing? But nah, X-Men Origins Wolverine 100% gets the certified seal of approval as one of the greatest movie tie-in games of all time. But what if I double it up for you? Now, originally, I was gonna segue into, you know, the SpongeBob SquarePants movie game. Bro, we already know, like, it's one of those ones, but I thought about it a little bit more. Why would I stop there when I could just cover all the games of my favorite series and not relegate that to a movie? So we're gonna kick it off with one of the worst games ever. The Sweet Life of Zack and Cody's Circle of Spies. I think this is genuinely the first time I've ever gotten scammed like in my life, bro. You know how like in GameStop, they had the window display case with a bunch of DS cartridges in there and they were like super cheap. I don't know if they still do that, but I think the last time I went to a GameStop was 7 years ago or something like that. And I didn't even see it in there back then. Well, being the dumb kid I was, bro, I went in there, I saw this game, and I thought it was a great idea to get it. It was not a good idea. The plot is absolute garbage, and look at these demonic PNGs that they use for Zack and Cody. Like, dog, they're nearly unrecognizable. This isn't Zack and Cody. This is like, this is Zane and Charles or something, bro. Bro, the OST is hot garbage. This song just loops over and over and over and over again till you lose the last bit of sanity that you've been holding on to while like wait. The gameplay, if you could even call it gameplay, is just as bad as everything else in this game. Why would you design platforming segments and then not give them any left or right air mobility or air control? So I'm just sitting there sandbagging, hitting the wall over and over again until I get it right. What is the point in doing that? Matter of fact, what is the point in this game even existing, bro? Did you know there's another one, bro? There's another one on the DS. It is just as bad as this one, and I'm pretty sure it uses the same exact PNGs. Anyways, enough talking about absolute shovelware garbage. How about we talk about one of my favorite games ever, bro? At least one of my favorite Wii games ever. Let's talk about The Creature from the Krusty Krab. This game is exactly how it's explained in the lore. It's a fever dream, bro. I mean, you start off racing as roided out SpongeBob. I know Battle for Bikini Bottom got that like remake slash remaster, but I definitely would love to see it for this like later down the line, bro. And honestly, I'm not even gonna try to explain the story. It's all over the place. It's like an acid trip, but it fits perfectly because it's SpongeBob. I mean, you start off this game in this crazy racing segment, and then you know, move on to your kind of like platforming segment, but there are like fighting sections within that. I mean, the combat isn't like, you know, anything to write home about. It is a SpongeBob game after all. But then after that, you move to the Patrick section, and it does a whole entire style change with like how the game is like, you know, presented. It takes on like more of the look of this comic book type of style. There's like a opaque half-tone filter that you can see like in the background, because in this specific section it's supposed to imitate what's within Patrick's dreams, right? He's supposed to be a superhero here. They even do the comic book onomatopoeia every time you hit an enemy. It's actually pretty cool with how far they leaned into it, because, you know, it is like one-off SpongeBob spin-off game. There's even like a section where like a giant Krabby Patty is chasing Plankton, and he's like running through the city of Bikini Bottom. There's like a Spider-Man 2099 Shattered Dimensions kind of free fall section for SpongeBob. This game has everything. There's a kaiju section where you're playing as Plankton and destroying a city, and then there's a section where you're SpongeBob in the plane trying to defeat kaiju Plankton. Like, bro, and this all takes place in the same game. And would you believe that this was like a spin-off throwaway game? They unintentionally struck gold, bro. Like, I would love to see a remake for this game. I think that would be absolutely crazy, and they would definitely have my purchase, because they cooked with Battle for Bikini Bottom Rehydrated. Also, quick shout out to Nicktoons Globs of Doom, bro. Like, one of the goats of the THQ Nick like spin-off title era, bro. If not the GOAT, low-key. If not the GOAT. And with that, can I offer you this? How about we double it up a little bit, right? I know a lot of y'all, you know, wanted the music section in the last video. Y'all missed me giving y'all amazing peak recommendations, but that's because I was holding out for some bangers on this specific music section this time around. And for those that do not know, this is the part of the video where I put you on to some songs, bands, or just artists in general that you may have not heard of to spice up your palette a little bit, or just give you a break from listening to the same old stuff over and over again. And if you made it to this section, you are one of the select few. You are officially a canon 1%er, because your life is about to get changed in the next few seconds. First things first, Subi Club dropped a new song, and it is absolutely a banger. It is called The Third Eye, and it pays homage to, you know, Fooly Cooley, FLCL, the GOAT. You know, we all love Fooly Cooley around here. I mean, my first video was on Fooly Cooley, so you know exactly how I feel about it. And this song is a J-Rock song, and I don't mean that in the sense of the progressions or instrumentals or the key switches or how they switch octaves within anything. I don't mean it in a musical theory sense, even though it still does follow that with, you know, the chord progression that they use in the song. I'm talking about this song is fully in Japanese, and that completely surprised me because it's a Subi Club song. And it actually got me thinking, I wonder if this is like a song that's gonna be on the FLCL Reanimated project. That'd be really cool to see. But yeah, The Third Eye, Subi Club, go listen to it right now. It's absolutely amazing. Next up, we got something that, bruh, Next up, we got a really special one, right? Kenny Mason dropped a new mixtape. I know I've mentioned him on this channel like 4 times now, but you know, he's my favorite rapper of all time, bro. And if you're in my Discord server, link in the description, by the way, you already know I did my annual Kenny Mason glazing, bro. Like, I already gassed it up. You already know what it is. You knew it was gonna be on this video. But this release was so hype, bro. Like, it was actually so hype. We've been waiting on this for a long time, bro. It's called Angel Eyes, and every single song on it is a hit. Like, I love the structure, how it transitions. I love the little audio clips between songs. It's a mixtape, but it feels like an album. And if you want my favorites from it, first off, we got the, you know, single that dropped before the mixtape. You know, we got Hood Rat, bro. He teased that on his IG. Very, very, very good song, and that sample is absolutely heavenly. Then next up, we got Been Havin'. Very, very, very warm, smooth rock track, bro. It teeters on like Midwest emo, but it still has that warm shoegaze sound without being too heavy. Like, truly a genius, bro. Big shout out to Shane on the production for this one. Like, you already know, I check my artist credits. Next up, we got Angel Eyes. Absolute masterclass in like punchlines. Like, every low-key, for like lyrical songs from Kenny, this one is definitely in my like top 3, like easily. It might be my favorite, but you know, recency bias, so I won't say too much yet. And that melody is absolutely heavenly, bro. Like, no, I didn't even mean to rhyme, but it just happened like that. That's how good the melody is, bro. I was thinking about it and I instantly rhymed. Like, it just is what it is. And last but most definitely not least, my favorite off of the mixtape, and I'm like 5 re-listens in, so I mean, it might be subject to change on the 10th re-listen, but it's definitely Teen Gohan. This track is sad as hell, bro. You definitely got that heavy shoegaze sound, and it is very crunchy. That's one of the things I like about the way Kenny does shoegaze. It's extremely crunchy and distorted. Even the lyrics are on topic with the title, which is actually very surprising, and it's in a way where you'll definitely feel it. I don't want to say too much because you're just gonna have to experience this one for yourself, bro. But yeah, Angel Eyes, bro, 100% seal of approval. Link in the description, of course, just like everything else. Stop everything you're doing, go listen to it, come back here, and then listen to the rest of the recommendations. It is that good in my opinion. I ain't gonna lie, let out a few tears to it, bro, so you already know how it is. And next up, we got Earthis, bro, and the production on their music is actually insane. And to explain it, because I forget the proper way to genre this, but it doesn't matter because genres at the end of the day don't matter that much. But I'm pretty sure their music falls under either metalcore or modern metal. I don't know if those two are the same thing or if I'm explaining it wrong. Just know they have very high production and it is very heavy music. It's very good. And for a song recommendation, bro, go listen to Lost Grace. Like, absolutely insane. I like that they use the electric piano as a way to like soften the beginning of the track, because you know, you have all these heavy instruments from like metal coming in and you don't really have that like light pocket of singing except for the beginning of the song. So you know, that kind of rounds it out a little bit so it's not too in your face and it gives that, you know, uniqueness to it. Heavenly vocals, by the way. I always like when they do those soft vocals and then have a sudden switch into the heavy metal screams, right? I also like when they hold notes, like they'll like hold a singing note and then transition it into like a yell or a scream. That's also very, very cool. Requires a lot of skill as well. And the album that this song is from, Have a Good Cult, is amazing. Got the complete seal of approval. I'm pretty sure I have every single song from this album liked in my playlist right now. So yeah, definitely go give them a listen. Earthis. And next up, we got a band slash artist that me and the gang recently found by a complete stroke of luck while watching DPW wrestling. Shout out to my twin Kino, and shout out to my twin Renzo for like reigniting my love for wrestling, by the way, bro. We've been on a crazy arc. It's been a crazy arc. But yeah, we were just watching DPW and then the opening came on and we're like, bro, why is this song actually so hard? Like, it's blowing our minds, completely blowing our minds. Like, I've never heard something with this level of production, with this level of like variations to the sound. They had a D&B break in the middle of it. And like, bro, you know, Kino went ahead and found the artist, and we completely pipeline into just listening to half of her discography, bro. And her name is Magdalene Rose. And I really hope I'm pronouncing that correctly because she is goated, bro. Instantly went up into my top 5 vocalists of all time. It's actually amazing how crazy her range is. The first song that we heard from her is Bad Residential, and complete acid trip of a song in the most congruent and well-structured way possible. For the first minute of the song, I'm like, I already like this artist. I already know I'm gonna like listen to this artist actively a lot. Like, they already got my attention with the production and just how good her vocals were and how amazing that hook is. Then a minute and 40 seconds hit, and I like hear this crazy guttural scream, and at first I'm thinking like this has to be the feature. There's no way she's hitting this low of a guttural scream with this much vocal clarity. Like, I've never heard like a female like metal vocalist hit this crazy guttural scream. Now I've heard some really good ones, right, and I know there are like legendary ones out there, but I've never heard one of this caliber. And then we like see a live performance of her just casually hitting this and then going back into the hook like it's nothing. Like, and it just completely blew my mind. I immediately had to go listen to the rest of the discography immediately after this, bro. And to get you started, listen to their EP, The Prelude. I mean, like, bro, I don't even gotta say too much. It's just really, really, really good, bro. But to give you just another song that I really, really like from them, bro, Shark Spray, absolutely amazing. Shark Spray is definitely one to look out for, bro. Shark Spray and Bad Residential, definitely my favorite songs from them. Easily. Teeth Eater is also very good, though. That's like their latest release. But yeah, Magdalene Rose, bro. Crazy, one-of-a-kind vocalist, insane production. What more could you want, bro? But yeah, sadly with that, our time together has come to a crisp close. Thank you if you made it this far in the video, and you should already know by now, bro. Discord server, link in the description below. We have good times in there, bro. Come kick it for a little bit. Don't be afraid to tell me what your favorite movie tie-in games are in the comment sections. You can, you know, recommend me some bands, bro. You can recommend me some manga, anything, bro. I'll probably cover it and I'll enjoy it and I'll get back to you on that. Also, we recently hit 15K, bro. Insane. You guys are absolutely crazy, and thank you from the bottom of my heart. But yeah, I still don't know how to end video.
Up in here with my tool, they gon' find you in the ditch, yeah. Straight for high rule, you not from it, you a glitch, yeah. Man of my rules, running with the misfits, yeah. Do not misclick, that's gon' get you hit quick, yeah. Scared don't dare, this God, ain't no variation, it's Lord X Lord. I keep a paradise, so I X out of Claude. My name Lucy, when I talk, you know.